Hello and thank you for watching. I'm Jennifer Bowman with Olympia Piano. This video is a supplement to the YouTube Shorts series on learning how to play this piece. So if you'd like to learn this piece, go on the channel to the Shorts section and just start at video 1. It goes measure by measure, hands separately, hands together, and you can watch all those short videos to help you learn how to play the notes of this piece. I'm going to show you a couple ways you can make some choices with regards to dynamics. And what I like to use in Bach is either harmonies, so chord progressions, or melodic contours, or sometimes as a combination of both. So the way this video is going to work is I'm going to play 2 to 4 measures at a time, discuss how I made the dynamic choice I did, and then replay those 2 measures. So let's start at the beginning, measures 1 and 2. Here we go. So for the dynamics in these 2 measures, you might have noticed I made a crescendo and then I got softer at the end. I made that choice mostly because of harmony, but also if you look at the right hand melody, it keeps going up the scale to here. So the top note in the right hand is going higher and then it comes back down. So that's one consideration. But the more major consideration here is we start with a 1 chord, so F major, we're in the key of F major, then beats 3 and 4. We have a B flat chord, that's our 4 chord. So a little bit far from home, which is 1. And then our next chord is E diminished. There happens to be an F that's called a pedal F. It's not really part of the chord, but it does create quite a bit of tension. And then we come back to our F chord, which will be the loudest point at the beginning of that F chord and then fade. So we start 1 chord, maybe mezzo piano, a little louder, diminished 7, 1, then fade away. Now, measures 3 and 4, it's almost exactly the same thing, except the hands switch places. Now the left hand has the 16th notes, the right hand has the 8th notes. Here's how it's going to sound. So again, we have 1 chord, beats 3 and 4, B flat chord, 4 chord. Next measure, we have that E diminished. This time no F in the bass, but it's a little bit higher. Again, more tension. And then we resolve to our 1 chord and fade away. Here's how it's going to sound. 1 chord, then moving to the 4 chord, then 7 chord, lots of tension, highest point, then diminuendo. The next section will start at the beginning of measure 5 and it will go all the way to the middle of measure 8. Here's how it's going to sound. So this section, I used a little bit more of the melodic contour, the up and down of the notes in the left hand to create my dynamics for this section. So we're going to start with the left hand, going up the scale, getting louder as we go up. We don't get to finish the scale, so the 7th note of the scale, or this E, is our loudest point. Then we're going to cut back. And then if you notice, we have another scale. We're going to go up the scale again, so get louder as you go up. Now here, instead of tapering, we're going to stay loud for C, A, and B flat. That gives us the turnaround point, and then we can diminuendo. So stay the same loudness for those 3 notes. Then we're going to go down the scale, get softer. Here's our softest point. Now we have 2 little chunks left. We have a little scalar passage, so we're going to get louder for that scale, the 3-note scale to the D. And then, now we have a little chord outline, G, E, C, which happens to be our 1, 2, 3, 4, our 5 chord in the key of F, so we're going to get louder to here. So I'll play it one more time, hands together, mostly dictated by the shapes the left hand is playing. Getting loud to here, cut back, grow again as you go up the scale, then stay loud to here, then getting softer, little scale, then our C chord leads to here. Our next little chunk starts right there, middle of measure 8, and it's going to go to the middle of measure 10. Here's how it's going to sound. So in this section, you can hear that it's a pattern that happens twice, and we're actually dealing with 4 chords. We're dealing with an F chord, then our next measure, we have a B flat chord, and actually it's a very colorful B flat chord because it has the C in it, which makes it a B flat 9 chord. And then our next chord, where the 16th notes are, G minor, and then we have a C, again, a 9th chord. So very colorful chords. And so the way I like to shape this is shape to the chord that's the 7th or the 9th chord. So we're going to lead to that 7th or 9th chord, taper away, and then crescendo again to that 7th chord because it has a little more tension. So I like to think of it, we're starting forte, we go to forte plus for the 7th chord, cut back a little bit to forte, and then go to forte plus for the dominant 7th chord, cut back, and then we're going to start this section forte. Here's once again how it will sound. So forte, go to forte plus, fade away, reset, crescendo to here, fade away, and then is our new section. So I'll play the new section. It's going to start middle of measure 10. It's going to go to the middle of measure 12. Here's how it's going to sound. So you probably heard me getting softer. I used more of the melodic contour to create the dynamics for this section. We are coming from F on top, E on top, D on top to C. So we're coming down the scale. The left hand intervals are becoming smaller and smaller and smaller till they squeeze into one note. The right hand patterns are going to have a little mini shape. Even though overall we're getting softer, we're going to shape to the middle of those. So fade away, sneak in, grow to there, then fade away. But each one will be kind of more gentle and soft as we come down. So let me do that, hands together. Here's our biggest one. Sparkle on the top. And then we get to our next section, which is going to start in the middle of 12 and get to the middle of 14. Here's how it's going to sound. So for this last section, I used both melodic contour in my right hand and harmonic structure in the left hand to create the dynamics. So if you'll notice, as the notes go up the scale, we're going to get a little louder, go up the scale, cut back a little bit, then do that again, go up the scale, cut back a little bit, go up the scale again, cut back a little bit, and then at this moment, we've got this D minor arpeggio with B flat. So it's actually that 4 chord with the 9th here. D minor, walk down the scale, and then we've got G minor 7, walk down the scale, then C dominant 7, 5 chord. Now for those of you who study jazz, notice this. When we start with the G minor chord, we've got a 2, 5, to our 1. All right, and then the left hand, we're also using some harmonic outlines of chords. We've got G minor first, 2 chord, leading to our dominant, 5, and then just for a moment, we're in a 1 chord again, kind of suspended on this 4 chord. Then we've got G minor to the dominant. So let me play that one more time. G minor, growing, C7, F, B flat, G minor, C7 to here. Now here's the dynamics for the rest. It's going to be I made the dynamic choice at the end based on the harmonies. Strong 1 chord, then I cut back 7, 4. Then this is a C sus, which means instead of playing an E there, we're going to have an F, which is eventually going to lead down to E. But right at this moment, it doesn't. C sustained, and then C7, 1. So loud, cut back to mezzo forte plus. Louder, louder. So hopefully this helped explain a little bit of how you can shape your dynamics in pieces by Bach. I hope you found it helpful, and I hope you watch the tutorial on the YouTube Shorts so you can learn how to play this piece. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. If you write to me in the comments, I love knowing where you are from. So please include that in the comments. And any questions, just ask. Thank you for watching.